This podcast is to share all podcasts. It is to get the content from some of the greatest ideas, greatest content out there, consolidate it so people can absorb it in a smaller bite. It is devoted to my sister, Terry. And the first recording we have is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Adam Carolla. Enjoy the podcast and try and learn something. Thank you.
You reconnected with him. What are some of the lessons you learned, or some of the things we might find in the book that Coach Wooden taught you, or that you taught him?
Just he taught us about figuring out what we needed to know to help the people that we cared about, and he gave us tools to do that. Just to communicate and be aware. You have to be conscious of the people that you care about, and what that means to you. How important is it? If it's important, then you have things to do. So, we learn that every day in practice, just in preparation to play basketball games. We learned how to support each other.
Was his sort of thought that we treat the team like a family?
It was family.
And we think about the needs of everyone in the family before our own, and that's essentially what passing the ball to somebody is.
Yeah, especially if they're open. You will alienate your teammates if you don't pass them the ball when they're open.
Right. So you create this environment, and it's probably initially a difficult sell because you have the best players from around the country, from their team, that are used to squeezing the trigger a lot when they have the rock. But you're saying you're going to be better if you just move the ball to each other and treat them like family.
We got to move the ball. Open guy gets the shot. We help each other on defense. Everybody rebounds. Everybody tries to get in the fast break.
It's a kind of, so he sort of took family and life and made it a metaphor and brought it into basketball. But then sports and basketball is like a sort of metaphor for life.
Yeah.
That way as well.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, it seems like Wooden was a guy who had a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, he did.
And I wish we could get back in touch with that word. I feel like it doesn't get discussed that much.
The absence of it is really starting to show itself here in the way our country's being led.
I agree, and I wish we don't even like the word wisdom anymore. And I think we don't like the word wisdom because it connotes old, and we don't like old. We want Katy Perry songs. We want young for everything.
Well, Katy Perry can get old and wise. There's nothing
I know,
wrong with that.
but old, but wisdom and wise just says old, and we don't want old Katy Perry. We want young Katy Perry. That's why I'm trying to
for different reasons. So.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think of what happened to wisdom. It's like we started neglecting elderly people, like don't talk to him. And we decided there was a lot to learn from 10-year-olds, and I think we're losing our way. My thing is let's talk to older people about what they've accumulated in the knowledge department, not find out what the 9-year-old wants.
I agree with you on that one 100%, Adam. That you just hit it on the head there.
Because we're turning into children ourselves by letting the kids sort of steer the direction we're moving in.
It doesn't work.
I agree. And all this sort of feelings, like I've always say that, people used to say, I think, and now they say, I feel. And I'm tired of all the feelings, all the discussion of how you feel and how it makes you feel. there's no room for that in sports, which is why I tend to like people who have that background. They tend to have that worked out of them very early about about what they feel.
You got to go with what works.
Yeah, and you have to have that discipline.
Yeah, and you have to learn how to apply it when it's necessary.
How much do you think that discipline has affected your life and helped you in further endeavors after
It's helped me a lot because, when you get to a point when you can look back, all the times that I failed had to do with my own laziness and arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And when you get humble and understand that you got to work for it and earn it, you get things done.
How do you do the part? I completely agree. Just internalize. Don't beat yourself up, but internalize, control it, because if you externalize everything, you can't control things. So internalize it. People have such a they're so reluctant to internalize. There's a lot of like, oh, the guy was late, or I got screwed, or the teacher doesn't like me, or the coach has it out for me, or the cops had it out for me. Like whatever it is.
It's a great way to avoid responsibility.
Right, but it's also a great way to avoid not letting this happen again. Like my whole thing is, let's not let this happen again. And if it's the dog's fault, I literally had this conversation with my wife the other day, which is we got a 110-pound lab.
He ate your homework?
Yeah. He ate like my second pair of glasses I had, and he's a year and a half old, and you love the guy to death, but he'll eat anything at any time, know. So I said,
including your friends?
Yes. Don't leave the dog in my office because he eats my stuff. And she said, I went to the bathroom for 5 minutes. And I said, that's plenty of time for Phil, the 110-pound lab, to eat my glasses. And she said, I just went to the bathroom for a second. And I said, don't leave him alone. And she said, I said, please stop saying that because we're never going to solve the problem. It's tough when it comes to the relationships.
Right,
but what I'm saying is I'm not calling you a bad person, but stop saying this because it'll never stop it.
And you can't leave him alone, so don't say that.
Right. The answer is next time I'll put him in his cage or outside. Not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And then you have fixed the problem.
Right.
Because under the current discussion we're having, the problem is still wide open.
Right, because he's just leaving it in the hands of someone who won't acknowledge it.
Right. How can we get people to acknowledge it without feeling bad about themselves? I think people have this sort of knee-jerk pushback. Hey, man, it's not my fault. Or sometimes, you go, you're late. And they go, hey, man, you've been late before, too. But,
everybody screws up. We got to respect and appreciate that and, get stuff done.
Well,
despite that.
What I'm saying is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is allowed to screw up and not feel like a bad or lesser person, but simply learn from it and move on without any of the negativity that these people are pushing back from.
That should be the way it works, yeah.
Well, I don't know why that isn't something that's sort of taught or discussed anymore. There's this new world order where everyone's just doing their own thing and nobody's at fault.
Somebody has to be held accountable.
So we'll get back to Wooden in a second. But so you grow up, your dad's a cop, so he's instilling a lot of discipline in you.
Well, my mom did, and my dad just backed it up. My dad didn't have much to say.
And I don't know.
I thought it was fitting to start with some great wisdom imparted by the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And up next is great wisdom as well. In a different sense, this is Neil deGrasse Tyson with Adam Carolla. Once again, enjoy.
Give this overplayed answer, but in kindergarten through 12, we're missing an aspect of education that would empower you to be curious about solving a problem rather than just cementing knowledge into your head.
Right.
This was the challenge we had when Pluto got demoted. All right, I hate to bring up Pluto, the poor thing, but Pluto gets demoted and people freak out. And, well, why are you freaking out? Because there are 9 planets. There can't be 8 because I learned there are 9.
Right.
And somehow this number got ossified in people's heads. And that was some foundational scientific truth.
Ossified. That's a Don King word right there. I don't look that up, Gary. He may have just went Don King on us.
No,
Do you find you've been ossified?
I love me some
defiled?
ossified. Because even if you don't know what the word means, it just feels like you know what it means. and
We're
it
not
is-
so sure it exists, Don.
Don't you ossify us. We know what it means.
So,
Gary, look it up.
Proselytize and ossified. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
to ossify, to turn into bone. Or cease developing, be stagnant or rigid. There you go.
You got lucky this time.
So, I love being accused of being lucky. I love it.
Better to be accused of being Don King.
I luckily landed on this word that happened to exist, right? So my point is, once that's infused within us, it becomes a kind of an inoculation against fuzzy thinking. And then as a voter, you vote for people who don't have fuzzy thinking because you don't have fuzzy thinking. And then the whole culture, you turn the country, to your point.
Describe fuzzy thinking.
Fuzzy thinking, you don't recognize what is objectively true from what is not, and you just create your own truth in some trajectory that makes you feel good.
Well, that's never happened in American politics.
As you navigate. So people say, why don't you talk to the politicians? I say, no, they are duly elected by a population. Even Donald Trump. You don't hear me bad-mouthing Donald Trump. 60 million people voted for this guy.
Right.
So the issue is the 60 million fellow citizens of this country. And as an educator, I want to say, here's what science is and how and why it works and why it's powerful and how you can find grandma's house on your smartphone because it uses satellites that engineers figured out how to put in orbit. And what I want to do in the dead of night is go in and sneak and take away every part of your life that's been enabled by space investments. And that would include giving you back your shitty eyesight because you had LASIK surgery that was done cheaply and accurately, enabled by algorithms that were borrowed from the laser docking mechanism of the space shuttle and the space station. So I'll take this away.
I'm laughing because I picture living with you. Hand me that almond milk. Oh, do you know what went into this? Oh, sweetie, I got running late for work.
I know when to shut up.
I gotta work. I can't have another
I know when to
verbal
shut up.
tirade about almond milk. Please, I have to go. I mean it because I should. My wife has had an impacted ass full of all me and my thoughts and my views and all of that. My proselytization. Neil, can we get personal for a second? I love you. I love this. I love the energy. I love it all. I want you and your ilk running everything. I want you and Elon Musk to get together and just go, hey, here's what we got. Hey, I'm going to walk in Monday morning, 9 a.m. and go, L.A. traffic, go.
Solved.
Go. I'm going to the Habit. What do you want? Do you like vanilla shake or should I surprise you this time? So that's all I want. And then you render it. And then I go, all right, here it is, people. Let's get building. That's what the smart guy said to do.
Right.
Not the mayor crying over the homeless situation. Now,
then you have people saying you're smart and I don't like you because you're smart. That's a whole other thing. Now, some of that is the smart people copping attitude, and I get that. But that doesn't mean they're wrong about what it is they might be suggesting that could improve everybody's life.
do you? So, I don't know what your status is. Married, kids, divorced, whatever. Do you have a status?
Married with children.
Married with children.
Yes.
All right. So
2 kids, two juniors, one in college, one in high school.
now the beauty, I hope, is that I feel like my kids, 10-year-old twins, are living with the modern day Will Rogers, and all they want to do is tell that guy to move over because he's blocking the TV set, and they're trying to watch Rumpus Rompers or whatever the hell they're polluting their brain with.
Your kids are how old?
They're 10. They're twins. They've already had an ass full of me.
Okay.
Now you.
Yeah.
I would imagine you get ignored at home as well, or your.
So yes. However, first, my wife has a PhD in mathematical physics, and we met in
helpful.
graduate school.
Oh, she a blowhard too?
Our kids, I'm a little more
How dare
insufferable than I'm more insufferable than our kids. I can tell you this: when they were like 14, 13, I certified them scientifically literate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whether or not
Can you come over and do my kids? Just hit them with that label or your stamp.
Stamp. Because I said, okay, I'm done with
They're
them.
both horrible students.
I don't care what grades they get, but I know they will never be exploited evermore by someone who presumes that you do not know how this world works, and they do, and they exploit you for that ignorance. Mm-hmm. So as early as age 13, if they hear adults talking and someone makes a claim that's not justified, they will politely say, well, why do you think that? Why do you have such confidence in that? Just why? And they'll say, because I feel so. Well, have you considered this other? So it's, by the way, it is equally as intellectually lazy to believe everything you're told as it is to doubt everything you're told. Mm-hmm. The real pathway to enlightenment and to discovery is to probe with questions that get you closer to what the truth is. And so they learn how to ask questions, because that's what science literacy primarily is. It's not what is an internal combustion engine or DNA or the Big Bang. That's an aspect of it, because that's direct knowledge about what's driving this world. But it's the curiosity and what feeds it, and how you can use that curiosity to learn something new and to know when somebody else is full of shit.
Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, by the way, is the name of the book. I highly recommend it. It's available on Amazon. I'm going to tease a question out for you, and I'll do a quick spot. But first, I'll just ask. So you started off by sort of talking about how you go through life, and I think it's very true. And I've always said this, it's that kind of thing where it's like, I love lasagna, and if you tell me you don't care for lasagna, it doesn't make sense to me, and I kind of don't believe you. Because I love lasagna so much that there's either something wrong with you or you're lying to me if you just tell me, I've tried it, I don't like it. And we all go through life that way, and I realize I got a 110-pound Labrador that looks at me like I'm him, and that I would enjoy kibble and licking my own ball.
Right.
1 out of 2, not too bad.
And you haven't tried kibble.
He's working on the other.
What I'm saying is there's no way that dog or that goldfish or any other culture, whatever, doesn't look at us like we look at them, like I look at who doesn't like lasagna in my feelings. So you started off by saying you go through life, and in a way, it's a burden, because you know this stuff, and it's not a superiority complex. It's just you know this, and yet you have to watch what is around you. It's like you're a dietitian, and you have to watch people eat junk food all day long. And so there's one part where you go, well, that would be pretty depressing. That's pretty depressing. And we started off, and it sounded a little depressing, but you're loquacious. Look that up here. You're gregarious.
It's legit.
It's a Don King word.
Totally legit word.
You're all of these things with all this positive energy.
You're loquacious? You're bodacious?
So which is the real you? Don't answer. Do you toggle back and forth? How do you keep this crazy positive energy up in the face of all the knowledge that you know in the greenhouse gas? Don't answer. I'll start a long-winded question, Neil. You start off a little morose, and you seem very gregarious now, but how...
Is that a word, gregarious?
How does it...
Judges.
How does it work?
So I think what may be different, at least for me and others with my background, is I'm also an educator. So if there's something I know that you don't know, no, I don't feel like superior. No, I'm saying maybe they would also like to know what I know. And I do some curating of what's more interesting than what. And that's precisely what this book is. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry it's a relatively short book, very small format, but it's a handpicked selection of things that are just kind of mind-blowing that I've judged that you would appreciate knowing. And so when you don't know something that I do, my urge is to teach it. And enthusiasm. As Carl Sagan said, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. And me and the universe go way back. And if you ask me, I will talk your ear off about the universe.
But how does it affect you on a personal level?
Oh, just outlook. I mean, every day it's like, oh, what might I learn today? I mean, think of the people who run down the steps after high school on graduation day, toss their notes into the air and say, school's out. Yeah. I no longer have to learn.
Yeah.
When in fact, your only job had been to learn.
Think about those people.
Okay. And so if that was you, then you're now spending more time alive, not in school, than you spent in school. And are you really done learning? Because I think there is an ember that still is lit within us that under the right conditions, you can fan it and have it ignite into a flame. And if that's the case, then you can turn a sleepy country into an innovation nation where everybody's just curious.
Well, curious. I've always said that, and it drives me insane. And I think as we talk about it, it's interesting. So the problem, if you talk to a nutritionist, it turns out fat is pretty good and pretty necessary, but they'll tell you the problem with fat's got the word fat in it. And I sort of feel that way when I talk to people about natural gas sometimes. It's got the word gas in it, and so people don't like it, even though it seems to be an upgrade to what's coming out, the fossil fuels coming out of the ground, the oil coming out of the ground. But
by the way, they could equally as well call it natural oil.
They should call it. Ooh. Get a publicist, Exxon.
No. And this, by the same token, salt. All right, that's mined from it. Okay, where do you think that salt came from? It's from a sea that has millions of years ago evaporated, leaving behind a salt deposit that we then dig out of the ground. So all table salt is sea salt.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's just a matter of how old the sea is from which it came.
So the problem with learning, when you get pushed through like I did, LA Unified, by the time you get done with that experience, it has such a negative connotation.
That's why I'm not blaming the person who threw up their notes. Something happened in the school system where we think learning is a chore.
Right.
And it's not your fault if you feel that way. Think of how we use the word lecture. In a college, lecture is okay. You paid for the tuition, you go attend the lecture. But outside of that environment,
why are you lecturing?
Why are you lecturing to me is a bad word. Stop lecturing. So the whole idea that you could be learning has had a bad rap.
Well, anytime there's something you're supposed to do you don't want to do, it feels like homework.
Yeah. And I'm saying, well, homework, I get to learn something. Go to an engineer. Think about this in a workplace, and you can imagine this even if you've never seen it. There are people in a workplace where the boss will hand him some task, and the person will look at it and say, I'm not trained to do this. This is not in my job description.
Right.
That's not an engineer saying that.
Right.
You give a problem to an engineer they've never seen before. The engineer says, whoa, I've never seen this before. Let me figure out how to solve it.
Right.
And they'll attack it like it's meat in front of a tiger. And that is the deep curiosity within where that day they're going to learn something new that they didn't learn before. And so I hold as one of my goals that every day I try to make sure someone else's life is made a little easier because I exist in this world. And I learned something today that I did not know tomorrow. And that drives my enthusiasm for living.
Well, I've had the discussion with my wife a million times because we have the 10-year-old twins, and if you grow up out here or anywhere now, I guess you get caught up in this vortex of, they need pre-kindergarten and pre-kindergarten, and you got to pump classical music into your uterus, and you got to put a speaker up there, and all this stuff. And all I ever said is they're either going to be curious or they're not going to be curious. And if they're curious, nothing will stop them. And if they're not, God help them.
Yeah. Thank you. You just summarized the last half hour of words that came out of my mouth.
Oh, well, look at me. I'm the Reader's Digest version of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
10-year-old twins, don't mess that up. That is the peak.
What do we do to make kids curious?
They're already curious. This is my point.
Sorry.
I was walking through the park. It had just rained. There was a mud puddle, and there was a woman walking with her daughter, and they're approaching the mud puddle, and the daughter is looking at the mud puddle, and you know what the kid wants to do with the mud puddle. They want to jump with 2 feet into the mud puddle.
Right.
And I'm thinking, let her do it. Let her do it. Let her do it. And what did the mother do? Guides her around, pulls her arm, and I said, you have just thwarted an experiment in cratering that could be the insights in that child, as an adult, will learn how to deflect asteroids or something. Whatever. My point is that could have been a completely, what is viewed as you're going to get things dirty. Yes, prevent the child from playing on the cliff ledge, okay? Right. Because they might die. But jumping into a puddle, you didn't have kids so that you can maintain a clean household, an orderly household. Right. No, you knew what you were getting into. Yep. If there's an egg on the counter and your kid reaches up for the egg, you say, don't touch that, it might break. Let him play with the egg and discover that it breaks. That's interesting. You can have something that's hard yet fragile. Right. That's a property that's not common in our lives. And so then then they find out there's yolk inside. Oh, what is that? And then you tell them that might have been a chicken. Oh my gosh. And what did this cost? 18 cents or whatever an egg costs today. Yep. That is 18 cents worth of education. As the president of Harvard once said, if you think the cost of education is high, try the cost of ignorance.
Wow.
Put that on a license plate frame. Mount that on your Prius and smoke it. I love that. And so what do we need to do so all, we can talk about prison population. We can talk about people that are addicted to drugs or pain pills. We can talk about unemployment. We can talk about underemployment. We can talk about everything, violence, domestic violence. But it's kind of like all roads lead to education. You can take all these problems separately, or you can get to the hub, which is sort of education and families and parents and interest and curiosity and nurturing and all that.
I couldn't agree more.
And all these other societal ills will sort of go away. You'll have a large drop in domestic violence if you have a bunch of curious, educated, respectful human beings in the prison population and everything else we don't like.
Adam, you don't need me on the show. You just said everything. What? You just, again, Reader's Digest.
Everyone.
Yes.
I have nothing more to add to this conversation after what just came out of your mouth.
Well, here's the tough part.
Now that we've all been imparted with some wisdom by some very smart people, let's get some jokes in. Up next, Joe Coy, the best Filipino in comedy ever.
You know why the long delay? Because I'm swallowing my food. I get a lot of complaints because I eat.
Yeah, I love how you always wait to eat till right before the mics heat up.
I don't know why.
We were hanging out for a while before that. Yeah. And then we're starting the show. Okay.
We're going to start the show. Yeah.
Let me open up this.
Let me split open a bag of fudge-covered Twinkies.
Where'd you get that?
I found it at 7-Eleven. It was in the new aisle section.
That's not
7-Eleven is changing their game.
Let me tell you what. They've upped it.
Let me tell you what, Dre, because you don't know what I'm talking about.
Talk to me.
7-Eleven used to have, it was a mini mart, right? They're mini marts, right? Filled with brand name stuff, right? Like Hostess and like all the goodies that you don't really buy at Ralph's. I mean, you can buy it, but you have to buy the bigger items of it. Whereas you go to 7-Eleven, you can buy the small individual packs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, guess what 7-Eleven's doing? Guess what they're doing, Nick?
I'm excited to hear it.
They have made the 7-Eleven version of all the stuff you dreamed about.
Like what Trader Joe's does?
Yes!
Like they have their own
like what?
Brand of everything.
Like 7-Eleven Gatorade.
Store
I'm not even joking. 7-Eleven Twinkies.
Yeah, I think I've seen 7-Eleven ice cream.
Yeah, 7-Eleven ice cream.
So it's like a co-branding.
Now it's just, no, man. Now it's just like.
Or is it their own
Yeah,
brand?
Now they're like, hey, people are just here for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? Like that's a ballsy move. Right?
Do you want 7-Eleven brand stuff?
No, I've never bought any
Who
of
wants
it.
that?
Not me.
I bought 7-Eleven Ruffles.
You only went to 7-Eleven because it was open.
It was open between the hours of 7
and
7 and 7. 24 hours.
I never understood that.
The farthest I've gone is Walgreens gummy bears, and that was terrible.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
So I don't know if I'll go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
7-Eleven apparel. That's what I need.
Bro, they already have it.
Do they?
They got some fancy glasses that look just like Ray-Bans. It just says 7-Eleven on the arm.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so you just have to, black that out. Yeah, they're Ray-Bans again.
Black that out.
What? 7-Eleven is there's a 7-Eleven right at the bottom, right where I live, and we frequent that goddamn place all the time.
7-Eleven's great. Open all night.
I can't get enough of 7-Eleven. I spent $46 on like I don't know 20 Fiji bottles.
Oh,
not even maybe 10 Fiji bottles.
Do you go there any time of the day or just at night?
I go there every day,
late at night.
anytime. Yeah, I always pull in.
You'll go in the afternoon to 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. Something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
But I'm a snack guy. There's nothing healthy about me.
You know what I think it is? It's because you've been on the road so much. You're so used to that gas station.
Yeah.
Like that's just
bro. There's a place. I think in Hawaii, right? It's a gas station and it's like Yelped as like 5 stars. And I'm not even joking.
Is it?
It's a gas station like you know how it is in Hawaii. It's like it's Asian, but it's like it's every delicious item from whatever country.
In the gas station?
Like you know what I mean? Like like if you ever go to a Hawaiian restaurant, it'll be like like teriyaki chicken, and then Korean barbecue, and then Spam. You know what I mean?
Like a restaurant. It's like they serve food there, like a restaurant. Like they cook.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
like
fun.
one chick in the back of the gas station.
Oh, it's
cooking.
like a deli.
No, it's not like a deli because I would have said it's a deli, Dre. What the hell was that? Did he just say that?
That's what you call that at a gas station. You call it a deli.
Don't. You call a deli. I didn't say that they had like a selection of meats in a refrigerator. They didn't have a sign that said Boar's Head. They didn't have a guy butchering in the back.
Yeah.
How many pounds? How thick of a slice do you want?
Bro, if you get food at a gas station, it's a deli.
No, it's not.
I disagree as well.
What do you call it?
We call it a thing.
So Dre goes into like the Subway at the gas station, like, oh, nice deli.
Ooh, nice deli.
Exactly.
This is Subway. This is Quiznos.
Exactly.
It's a nice deli.
It's still
here.
deli feel.
Everywhere Dre goes, it's a deli. Right?
I don't feel the same eating a Subway from the gas station as I do from Subway at a standalone Subway. I feel different.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What are you talking about right now?
It feels a little dirty.
When you go to a gas station Subway?
Yeah.
It is, yeah, you're right. Okay, I feel you on that. The clientele's a little grimy,
it's a little
too.
different, right?
Yeah, they're a little grimy because it's like they're just there because that's it.
I agree.
They pulled off on the wrong exit. They wanted McDonald's, but all they got is Chevron with a Subway in it. You know what I mean? And you're like, shit, should I get back on the freeway? No, because I'm already putting gas in my fucking car.
Exactly.
Let me get a meatball sub, please, with mozzarella.
I'll get a pack of Marlboros and
exactly.
meatball sub.
Meatball and some
Toasted
condoms. Oh, and this pen that makes this chick naked if I pull it upside down.
And some windshield wipers.
Oh, windshield wipers. I get some windshield wipers for my truck. What kind of truck do you have? A 76 Chevron? Oh, Chevrolet.
We got them.
Do you have the triple blade so it wipes my windshield 3 times on one turn?
For the 76, we only have the double blade.
Ah, fuck! I should have exited before this spot.
That's going in my Yelp review.
Yeah, I'm going to Yelp you guys right now, but I'm going to give this kitchen you have in the back a 5-star rating. What is that, a deli?
They didn't have the triple blades, but they did handle our party of 12 just fine. There were no issues. 5 stars.
Dude, they don't even have seats. Everyone was sitting in the gas lot where everyone was pumping gas, like on the curb.
It's just
I'm not even making this up. I'm not making this up. You know what? I'm going to text my friend Brendan right now, and we're going to get the name of this place.
I love that. Like, hey, where do you guys want to go?
It's
for
so
dinner
Hawaiian,
tonight?
and these people were there. Like, people look forward to going to this gas station, and like the lady that was working, oh, so happy. Aloha, aloha, brada.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. What do you want to eat, brada? I go, let me get a mixed plate. Okay, you want Spam? You want a teriyaki? You want a kalbi?
Oh, it sounds delicious.
Breakfast, bro. And the only reason the difference between breakfast and dinner in Hawaii, breakfast has eggs.
Everything else is the same.
Everything is you still get the steak no matter what.
Oh yeah.
They eat heavy out there.
The Loco Moco.
Loco Moco.
Right.
Loco Moco is a hamburger patty on top of rice, three ice cream scoops of rice, right? Then they put gravy on it. Gravy. They just pour gravy on this thing. And then on the side of that, or sometimes in the middle of all that, Nick, you know what they put? Potato mac salad.
That sounds amazing.
Doesn't it?
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's so good.
This is Hawaii?
Hawaii. You know what I call you know what I call Hawaii? Heaven.
Yeah.
Now I know why they call it paradise.
Oh,
that's what it is, a Loco Moco.
Do they give you blood pressure medicine on the side?
That's funny. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure Hawaii should be dead right now. Everyone should be dead in Hawaii.
I was thinking it makes that chocolate-covered Twinkie that Joe's eating look like a piece of celery.
This is a vegetable.
A kale Twinkie.
Yeah, this is superfood.
Superfood.
Yeah, a fudge-covered Twinkie in Hawaii is considered to be a superfood because the cream filling has calcium. They don't eat that out there. Calcium, brother? You gonna put teriyaki on that? They got vitamins and they put teriyaki on it. Teriyaki vitamin, brother. So good. Bro, they got this mix. I forgot what the mix is called, but they got this mix. You pop popcorn and then you sprinkle this seaweed mix all over it. And it's got Gemma, what's it called? Lihi moi powder. It's like a salty, sweet powder with seaweeds and sesame seed.
Like that furikake?
Furikake, yeah! That's it.
Yeah, that stuff's good, man.
And they put it on popcorn, bro.
It's their popcorn seasoning.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you, man. Hawaii should be dead in about 20 more years. Like they'll just explode from MSG. When they die, like if they explode, the blood is just MSG sauce. It's just MSG, but there's more MSG to blood ratio. Like you can actually take their blood and sprinkle it on something. It'll be flavoring. It'll be considered Lowry's out there. Hawaiian blood. I'm gonna make a seasoning called Hawaii blood. Hawaiian blood.
Their casket at the funeral just has a spout.
A spout
coming out of it.
Bro, but I eat everything there. Nick, have you been to Hawaii?
I haven't. My sisters and my grandma went in 1996 and didn't bring me.
He remembers the whole date and everything.
What year?
96, because I stayed with a friend of the family and we watched the 96 finals Supersonics Bulls.
They dropped you off at a friend's house and went to Hawaii?
For like a week, yeah.
So they better get him now. What do you
think about that? You think they should push him or?
Push him? I think the kid wants it.
You think he wants it?
Yeah.
This next podcast mix is from Allegedly Podcast. It involves Theo Bond, great, goofy, funny-haired comedian, Matt Wise, his sexy friend, and the beautiful Joe Coy. Enjoy.
Fuck that, man. I don't know if we could curse.
Yes, you could bloody curse.
But I don't want to do that anymore. Like, right now, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it inside. I knew we made the right decision, a year and a half ago when we decided to do this ourselves, and I'm glad it's paying off, man.
So I want to hear. Go on.
This was your third special?
This is my third one. But the first two were the Comedy Central, so I didn't really have a say in it. And, I lost all that content. I can't do anything with it.
Wow.
And it sucks, man. Because when you make that deal, initially, it's like, yeah, I want to be on Comedy Central. But you had no idea that these new platforms were coming and there was going to be a whole new style of media. You know what I mean? A whole new way of watching stuff. And that wasn't happening back then.
Yeah.
So, I gave it all away. And now there's these outlets that you can put this stuff on, and I can't do it, man. I have to beg Comedy Central to just give me snippets, and it sucks.
Really?
Man.
Oh, that
yeah,
sucks.
man. It's because they have their platform now.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't want to give their content out.
Yeah,
it's just,
Yeah, they want to honor their side of their deals and populate their stuff. Did you feel, because you've done 2 specials?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of material.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think you work harder than anybody, especially on the road. Like, you're on the road a lot.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, how many weeks, honestly, would you say over a year are you on average?
I'll just tell you how many I'm not.
Right.
Probably 4.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
4, maybe 5.
Right. And you have a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I missed a lot of my son's child. I was going through my Instagram the other day, and it's just like the most depressing thing you do is scroll down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go backwards because it really started. Well, you don't have a kid, Theo, but
No.
for me, it was
He
like just
may.
watching my son go right back into the womb.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it started like hurting. Like, It's depressing. He's 14 now. And it's just like, I was just looking at the ceiling and then looking at the picture and then reminiscing. Like, I could remember taking that picture. Hurts, man.
Yeah.
But the road is the reason why.
You have a resurgence.
The road is why he has a good life.
Right.
And I, like, yeah, I'm sad, but fuck, man, I missed a lot. And
do you have that conversation with your son? You do?
I tell him that. But he knows, he understands. I go, dude, you could have lived like me.
Yeah.
You could have seen, me a lot, but you're not going to have any of this shit. None of this shit you have here.
No shoes.
Yeah, no shoes. Yeah. One shoe. But not all of these shoes.
Yeah.
Do you have, that's hysterical. Do you have a least favorite and a favorite place that you tour to? Like, what's the worst place to go to? Like, what's
for me? Toledo, Ohio. I'll never go back there.
That's crazy. You say that. It's always somewhere in the Ohio's, man.
Yeah,
it's always the Ohio's.
What's fucked up about Ohio,
man? I'm going to say Dayton, bro.
Really?
Wow.
What's up with Ohio?
Okay, mine. I can tell you why Dayton is crazy for me.
Yeah,
Dayton feels like it was made by the government. These aren't real people living there. It's a science project.
Like
these people live here, and that's where they figure out how to live with regular society, and then finally they move on to other cities. But the conspiracy starts in Dayton, Ohio.
Wow.
And it's so funny because this is when I was taking Chris D'Elia on the road. I took him on the road for about a year or so.
Wow.
Every city we go to, we're funny as shit.
Right.
We're two comics and we're in a city. If we go to a Starbucks, we're making everybody laugh there. We're making the people behind the counter. Everybody knows that Chris and Joe's there and they're laughing. Every restaurant we go, they're laughing. Miami, they're laughing. Everywhere they're laughing. All of a sudden we're in Dayton. No one's laughing at anything.
Right.
And Chris and I are like, no, we're fucking funny, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're at a restaurant, no one's laughing. The guy picking us up to drive us to the gig, he's not laughing. And then finally, we're back in the room and we just start crying, laughing. Me and Chris, we're like, maybe they're aliens. You know what I mean? And this is where the government, makes aliens, function with other humans here at Dayton.
To testing,
and,
right?
Yeah, to testing, yeah. And then eventually they move them into general population, like they go to New York and all that. And we're fucking crying hysterically. It's so stupid. We're dying. So now fast forward to the guy picking us up to take us to the show, right? So I got the camera rolling and I'm in the back seat. Chris is in the front and the guy picking me up, I go, any alien sightings here? And Chris is fucking crying. And then I start laughing, right? Because it's a totally inside joke, right? And this is what the guy says. He goes, yeah, there's Hangar 55 here. And now Chris and I just completely stop laughing. It's not even funny anymore. Like, what do you mean Hangar 55? Oh, well, the Roswell crash, the spaceship is stored here at Dayton, Ohio.
Wow.
And the conspiracy is that it's Hangar 55. And they do all the testing with the aliens here. Fucking Chris and I are like, what the fuck? We're looking at each other. We're like in shock. We get out of the car. We're like, I fucking told you, man. They're aliens, man.
Why was Toledo bad for you?
Because I just felt like a lot of people that just hadn't gotten their tetanus shots, didn't know, didn't have a big plan.
I just got my tetanus shot today.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I literally just came from it.
Wow.
Because I'm going to Botswana.
Well, you have to get one again, or you never had one?
It expires every 6 years.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So if you're going somewhere,
I need 3 of them. I need 4 of them.
You better get the cream, bro.
Dude, right in here.
They got tetanus cream now?
Bro, you better get the cream, bro.
Oh, shit.
I got typhoid in
What'd
here.
you brush your teeth with? Tetanus cream?
Typhoid?
Hep A, typhoid, rabies, tetanus. It's all going
Where
through
are
me
you
right
going?
Now. Botswana.
Dude, I'm going to say this.
I think they oversold me, actually, in this place. They're like, you need this, you need that. Ching, 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 ching. $360. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a good time. You just need 90 shots in your asshole.
That was pretty much
And then it's fun after that.
Well, dude, I'm just going to say, if you stay off a grinder in Botswana.
Yeah. Don't be on Grindr.
Stay off the gay dating.
Yeah.
It's not as safe. Matter of fact, I'd go straight in Africa.
Yeah. Just once.
Just
well, you know how it shows the location, like 450 feet away. Like, I have a feeling I turn a grinder and it's like 18 miles away is the closest gay
17 clicks away.
That's great.
Just 9,000 steps into your favorite butthole.
So I have actually a question from one of our fans, Cameron Arnaldi. He's the one who makes our stuff.
Yeah, he makes some great JPEGs for us. This guy's a great artist.
Nice.
Do you feel pressure to have a new special now, like every year, or do you one up yourself, or is this like What is the pressure after doing something like that?
I've always been that guy though. I don't even care about the special. It's when I return to a city. That's my goal.
Wow.
So when I go back to Nashville, it's got to be a different act. And if it's not 100%, then I will at least ad lib. You know what I mean? And improvise. And
yeah. Now, do you feel like sometimes you'll give them some of the hits? I mean, you got to drop a hit out there every now and then if there's already a previous hit. Really?
No, I won't.
Huh?
Nope. Can't.
Huh, really?
Yeah, I don't even enjoy doing it.
Right.
I don't.
Now,
and what sucks is because it's like a catch-22 where they yell it out when I walk out, and it drives me crazy.
Ting, ting.
The ting, ting, Joseph!
Yeah.
Do the Wii! I'm like, fucking, no one is even playing the Wii anymore.
Yeah.
And I got so much, I don't know, I love to write. My son's 14, and it's like, you know, when he does something, I immediately have to go up on stage and do it. I have to.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah.
No.
Just get it out.
Just get it out.
Does your son like being in your act?
Yeah, especially now that Netflix is pushing it. He didn't really get it with Comedy Central. One, he was young, and two, no one watches Comedy Central. I mean, especially at his demo.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really getting it. It was just a lot of creepy old people going, "Hey, is that Ting Ting?" And then my son's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like that's not like, yeah, it's me, but who are you? You know what I mean? But now with Netflix, everyone's got it at his school.
Yeah.
So he's like king shit at his school right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like he goes to like this cool school with all these like celebrity, you know, dads and moms. You know what I mean? So it's like it's extra cool when Mrs. Universe is snapping little Joe's dad. You know what I mean? Like it's the coolest thing. And he's showing me. He's like, oh, look, his friend Mark, his mom is Miss Universe, ex Miss Universe. He's like, his mom is. Look, she just posted you on Netflix, so it makes him feel cool. Karan Butler's daughter.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's like cool people. Mark Anthony's son.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like
that's crazy, dude.
The Prison Break guy, I only know it's Gus Purcell's dad. I just know the guy, the lead in Prison Break.
The Dominic,
that's it. That's his dad. Yeah. Dominic Purcell. Yeah, fuck. He was king shit for 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
All I heard was my son bragging about Dominic Purcell. Oh, Gus's dad. Yeah. Oh, he's the shit, Dad. Prison Break's coming out. Why can't you be on Netflix, Dad, like Dominic? Like, can Dominic tell a fucking joke, man? Fuck you, Dominic, until I see Dominic. Like, hey, how are you doing? Big fan, bro. Me and my son love you. But when I first did the joke about, you know, him playing with himself, I remember going up on stage and saying it, and he was on the side of the stage. And I remember coming off the stage and just like apologizing to him because it didn't really hit me because it was my first time performing it in front of him.
Yeah.
And then I saw him and it's just like I could tell that it kind of hurt his feelings. Like he felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was like apologizing at the end of the show instead of like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you know, they're just jokes, Joe.
To your
like,
son.
Yeah. And then I was like, I gotta make fun. I gotta tell me. I gotta say me. I also do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna make fun of him, now I gotta make fun of me. Like I do it. And not only do you do it, but I did it worse.
Right.
I'm more nasty than you.
Right.
I'm more disgusting than you.
Does that make it more uncomfortable?
No, he loves it. Like when I did that, that's when it was like it changed. It was like, yeah. When I told the story about me and then he gets off on that. He loves it.
Literally.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean it like that, but yeah, he appreciates it more that I could make fun of myself as well as other people, I guess.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? I don't know.
And did you so you had done 2 specials with Comedy Central, right? And did you feel like that your career was kind of like at a plateau?
So I hope you enjoyed the podcasts I chose. These are some of my favorites. I have many, many, many more, and that's kind of what I wanted to start this, was to consolidate. There's so much content out there. To filter through it is, you know, 8-hour day job, if not more. And so to consolidate it to one bite-sized piece is really my inspiration, and I hope you all enjoy it.